Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in. I hope everybody's getting their day off to a good start. Hope that you have an idea of where you're headed uh, for the week and beyond. It's important that you make it a consistent effort to have a clear idea of what you want to accomplish at any given point. A lot of frustrations in having this inability to achieve things comes from the lack of clarity in what it is you're truly going after. Let me explain something. If you don't know where you're going after, it's like turning the lights off, giving it yourself a dark, and there's one spot you can hit that's really truly going to bring you fulfillment and identify your success, and you're throwing the dart in the dark. You may not even hit the right wall. And even if you land on the right wall, you're not in the same quadrant. You're going to have to be able to have a clear idea of what it is you want to accomplish. Every day, wake up with one thing that you want to get done that's more important than anything else. Get that done first. Don't put it to the side because it requires more work. Don't try to do what most of us do, feel like we've accomplished something, and that's go after all of the little things. So you got all these little boxes checked at the end of the day, but the very thing that could have thrust you forward is still sitting on the table because it required more work, it required more sacrifice, it required a greater deal of intensity, and so we didn't engage it. We put it off. But let me explain something to you. When you wake up in the morning, you start a process that begins your decision making uh, 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 process for the day. And there's a thing called decision fatigue. And the longer you go through the day and the more decisions you make, the less capacity you have to make good decisions. It's called decision fatigue. It's real. So your best decisions are made in the morning. Your best efforts are made in the morning. You hear a lot of people say, "I'll get more done before by 9 o'clock," and most people get done all day because that's where it's done. It's done from the time you wake up. The first few hours, you're going to get more done, even if you are busier the rest of the day doing little things. That thing you got done in the beginning is the thing that's going to thrust you forward, and that can only be done when you know where you're going. So keep that in mind. Now, let me talk to you real briefly. This is what I really want to hammer home today. Look, you're not, and you've heard me say this countless times, you're not going to circumvent the vicissitudes of life, the changes, the unannounced, unexpected changes in life. You're not going to circumvent the delay that comes as a natural part of the process. You're not going to get past the disappointments and frustrations that life seems to deliver at your door. You're at some point going to at least once get hit real hard by life. Life is going to throw something that's going to knock you completely off your feet, and you're not going to avoid it. It's going to happen. It's not in the circumvention or the avoidance of life's struggles, life disappointments, life's heartaches, life's pain, that you will achieve success, that you will achieve peace, that you will achieve fulfillment. It is in the understanding that while life may take away your path, while life may shut the door, while life may close doors, shut, take away your path, and take away your how temporarily, as long as you don't allow life to take your who, long as you remain aware of who you are, long as you are deeply connected with your purpose, life can take the how. It will. You'll have a pathway planned out and you'll look up and there's a blockage. You'll have an idea of how you want to get it done, and somebody will shut the door. You will have that. Life will come along and totally knock you down. You will think you'll do it with your money, and you'll look up and your bank account is empty. You think you'll do it with your connections, and they'll turn on you. You think you'll do it with your experience, and they'll change the game. But if you don't forget who you are, don't allow life to take your who. It's gonna snatch the how every now and then. You're gonna have times you don't have a how in front of you, but if you have your who, if you know who you are, if you know deep down inside that you were built to do something great, if you know deep down inside that there's something special that you have to accomplish in order to leave your imprint on this world, if you know for a fact that within your very design is the capacity to fulfill your purpose, then you won't be shaken and you won't become frenetic and unglued by the fact that you lost your how. It's going to happen. I don't care who you are. I'm telling you from my own experiences. I'm telling you from the people that I know, the people that I've worked with, the people that have worked with me. I can tell you, you're not going to get through life without having your how disrupted. But see, it's not the how you should be protecting, because see, that evolves, it changes, it oscillates. But what shouldn't change is your who. You should know who you are. You should be 100% committed to who you are. When you make up in your mind that I'm not going to be robbed of my who, everything else starts to flow, because see, it's not the how, it's the who. Do you know who you are? Have you taken time to become acquainted with your capacity? Have you taken time to look deeply inside and see what you're really and truly made of? Have you escaped the superficial explanations and definitions that have been defining you in the past to discover the infinite potential that lies within? Have you really searched yourself and examined who you are to determine within yourself what you're capable of? Because when you do that, when you make up in your mind who you are, and you become unequivocally acquainted to it in a way that's almost inexplicable, nothing will shake you anymore. Why? Because you'll know deep down inside, I'm built for this. You hear me say this all the time. I'm built for this. There has not been one battle that I have not faced that I wasn't built for. There have not been one disappointing situation that I wasn't built to overcome. There has not been one moment of delay that I couldn't fight through. There has never been anything that has laid itself in front of me that in the right focus, the right time, the right level of commitment, I wasn't able to overcome. See, the problem is when you allow life to disrupt your how and then take your who, you are left with that nebulous idea of what's next. See, when I've got my who, I know what's next because it's never changed. I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, I may have to change how I get it done, but I'll never change who I am. But when you allow life to take your who, you're sitting up there and you're trying to figure out what's going on and you feel lost. You start this, you stop this, you start this, you stop this, and you look up and you've got this life of all these things, none of which you've completed, and it's because you have allowed life to take your who. See, we are some how people who focus on instant gratification. See, I'm going to figure out how to get something done. They did it this way, so I can do it that way. I'm going to get it done, and then if it doesn't happen in a certain amount of time, well, it wasn't meant to be. I need to try something else. And until you find your who, you're never going to be committed enough to finish anything. It's in the who that gives you the passion and the drive to finish something. It's got to be something that you identify with deep down and in, that you are literally connected to, that wakes you up in the morning if you are going to finish. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be tough. It's going to be grueling. It's going to be intense. Oh, you heard me say this. I've added to it, but the initial idea came from Will Smith. He said he says he believes that God placed everything worth having, every beautiful thing, every beneficial thing, every awesome thing on the other side of fear. And I just said that, hey, God placed everything on the other side of fear, on the other side of disappointment, on the other side of delay, on the other side of frustration, on the other side of heartache and heartbreak. You got to be willing to fight through some things, stick through some things, go through some things to have the things that most people don't have. Why? Because most people get to that point and quit. Most people get to that point and lay it down. Most people, look, all you got to do, and I've been in this deeper than most people, is walk the streets at night and look at homeless people. And you see all kinds of things. You see people who have just checked out. You see people with mental disabilities, but you see people who came into something and wasn't prepared. They didn't know what to do next. And then they didn't have anybody around. I know what it's like to be in that situation and feel like there's nobody there. that you know people know what you're going through. And all you get is, I'm going to pray for you. They know what you're going through. And at the most primitive levels, they have the capacity to help you. But they're not invested in your path. You've got to become invested. You got to make up in your mind that I don't care how dark it gets. I don't care how low I go. I will never stop fighting because I know who I am. And I know, because I know who I am, because I know my capacity, but also because my identity is revealed as a part of royalty. I don't belong at the bottom. And because I don't belong at the bottom, I'll never be satisfied with being at the bottom. My knowing who I am demands that I stand up every day and act like I'm who I am, even if I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Did you get what I just said? When you truly know who you are, there's something inside of you that'll drive you and constantly remind you that your condition and your position doesn't belong to you. It's not where you belong. It's simply where you're at. We are always going to find ourselves at times in places we don't belong. We can't get comfortable in those places. We can't become satisfied in those places. We've got to make up in our mind that I am, and that I am demands a certain level, a certain standard of reality, of living, of lifestyle, of performance, of impact that I have to be living at consistently in order to satisfy my who. I've said this before, that the most powerful words in the English language, the two most powerful words in the English language is I am. Why? Because what follows defines your entire life. When you put I am, what follows right now in your self-talk, in the way you view yourself? If you say I am struggling, that's why you're struggling. It doesn't mean that when you stop saying you're struggling, you start saying I'm winning, and all of a sudden the condition changes, but how you see the condition changes, and that gives you the power in which to engage the condition. If you are in a mindset that you're going through something and you're struggling, you're suffering, then you're at the mercy of what's causing you to suffer. But when you look at it and you say, you know what? This is a situation, this is a condition, this is a challenge, this is something that I have the power to overcome. It becomes the challenge that you overcome, and you move past it. But as long as it's defining you, you stay. When it becomes how you identify yourself, when you say, I am poor, I am struggling, I am dumb. All these things we say about how stupid, well, I was so stupid. No, you made a bad decision. Don't identify yourself with the decision. Make up in your mind that you're going to make better decisions, that in order to make better decisions, you got to be better informed. So you start informing yourself. You start connecting with people who know things you don't know. You start reading books to gain knowledge you don't currently have access to. You put yourself in a situation to make better decisions. You don't identify with the wrong decision. You count it as a lesson and you move forward, but you got to know your who. See, inside, I don't care where you're at, you should still be saying, I am triumphant. My name is triumphant. My name is winner. My name is overcomer. My name is conqueror. My name is successful. I am not going to allow life to change my name. I can't stop life from taking things from in front of me that was my way. And having to recalibrate. I can't, but I can definitely protect my name. My name is triumphant. I am not going to allow life to set the standard of my lifestyle through the conditions that I encounter. My name is triumphant. I'm not going to allow life to beat me down to the point that I give up and quit, because my name is not quitter. My name is triumphant. Oh, I wish I could tell you that once you get this rhythm in life, and once you discover who you are, and once you start this path, it just starts to get easy. And then later, no, it's the same hard challenges that everybody else goes through. The difference is when you know who you are, they don't shut you down. They cause you to rise to a new level to overcome them. That's how you grow. That's how you advance. It's not in getting around or circumventing the struggle. It's about being prepared to run straight through it. The thing is, my wife made a joke, I believe last week sometime when she was posting the new revised version of her book. And on the book, obviously, her name reflects her new status as being married to me. So instead of the old name, it's her name. And she made the joke that he's making sure that my name is changed on everything. And the thing is, whether you change your name to something that you want to reflect you, or you find something powerful in the name you hold, your name is a part of your identity. It's how you, and if you don't have a name that identifies with something, maybe you do need to change your name. Maybe you need to change your name that so every time you speak it, it reminds you of who you are. See, your name is the number one indicator of who you are. And if you can't connect your name with who you are, you need to deal with that. Why? Because nothing you're going to hear in this world more than your name. Every time somebody addresses you, they're going to call you. When you pick up the phone, you're going to say, hello, this is. When you talk to somebody, you're saying, hi, my name is. You're constantly reminding yourself who you are. Whether you are a religious person or not, there's a reason God changed Abram's name to Abraham. Now, every time somebody addresses him, every time he introduces himself, he's reminded of a promise that belongs to him. That is something that is true right now today. If you want to change your situation, you got to have something that's constantly reminding you of something that is not yet manifested. See, a lot of you are talking your condition instead of talking your identity. A lot of you are talking about where you're at instead of your identity. Your identity is the indicator of what you are and what you will become, not where you're at. You are on a journey. Where you're at today will not be where you're at tomorrow. And if you constantly identify where you're at, you're going to start walking in circles. You're going to get a cycle of the same thing over and over again. But if you allow your name to speak to you, if you refuse, don't surrender the name. My name is triumphant. And the reason I want my wife to wear my name, because when I see my name attached to her first name, it's a reminder of my responsibility to her. It's a reminder of who I am to her. It's a who. It's a reminder that I don't have the right to disconnect from her in any way because she's wearing my name. She's now a part of my identity. I have to honor my responsibility of who I am, not where I'm at, not what I'm going through, not how hard it is, but who I am. So if I'm not where I need to be in order to be who I am to her, it wakes me up in the morning. It pushes me through things that might make me want to back down and make me want, I can't back down because somebody's wearing my name. Look, life is going to throw some punches at you. Some of them are going to bring you to your knees, and some are going to even put you on your back. Your responsibility when that happens is to stand up. Your responsibility is to get up, dust yourself off, and determine within yourself, as long as I'm still breathing, I'm still in the fight. As long as I have breath in my body, I will not quit. I will not surrender. I will not retreat. I will not turn back. I will not falter or quit. I am going to press through. I am not expecting it to be easy, but I am expecting to get up every day and do everything I got. I remember being flat on my back, and my only words to God was this: if you wake me up, I'm going to answer the bell. The only thing that I said, if you wake me up, I'm going to answer the bell. You can't have, everybody has this idea of what life is. And we have a world that likes to glaze over to make people feel better about where they're at. The truth of the matter is, if you don't take life by the horns, and you don't go at life the same force and ferocity that life comes at you, it will eat you up and it will spit you out, and no one will even remember you when you're gone. That's the truth. If you don't get up and when life throws a punch, you get up and throw one back. When you take a hit, if you don't get up and kick back, life will keep taking. It will keep taking until you turn around and make life become what you want it to be. And that's not easy, and it doesn't always flow the way you want it to flow, but you got to wake up knowing you're going towards something. And the only way to stop you is to kill you. The only way that you're going to stop me from going after the things that I've set my mind to do is to kill me. And at that point, it won't even matter to me anymore. I am going to get it, or I am going to die trying. I'm not going to get to it and say, woo, man, that's pretty rough. Maybe I need to try something else. No, I am going to finish what I started, or I'm going to die on the battlefield fighting for it. It's that simple. Stop allowing your conditions and your situations to take your name. Live in your name. With that being said, I'm going to step out of here. Got a lot to do. Hopefully I get a chance to visit with you again, but you've got to start really knowing who you are. There's something to be said for a name. And with that being said, I'm going to check out here. You guys have an unbelievable day. Again, find that one thing you're going to do today, you're going to get done. I don't care what it is, get it done. For those of you who want to take part in the Rapid Change Breakthrough Sessions, the information is right there in the post. Those who want to order a signed copy of Critical Mass, the link is right there. But whatever you do, you need to take control of your destiny. You need to take control of your life. You need to stop surrendering your name, stop surrendering your position, stop sitting up and letting life move you. Start to move against the things that move against you. With that being said, I'm out of here. You guys have an awesome time.